Right now at 5, the Crawford County Attorney's Office releases its findings concerning an officer-involved shooting in Pittsburgh.
And some additional scattered storms possible out there for us today. A look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, fish and wildlife agents conduct raids in Delaware County, Oklahoma.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now finally Friday in the 4 states, July the 17th. Ready for the weekend, hopefully.
Yeah.
I think everybody just about is. We still have some rain chances, and today's really the last time we get to say it's going to be seasonably hot, because it's going to start to really get hot over the next few days, and it's uncomfortable.
You're going to miss what this was. If you were complaining about the heat now,
yeah,
you're going to miss it.
It's going to get uncomfortable, to say the least. Let's start with a live look from the Westco camera at 7th and Range Line in Joplin. And you can see we're looking pretty good so far. We actually have mostly clear skies this morning. And the MoDOT camera at 32nd and Range Line, also looking good this morning as well. We are going to now take a look at the numbers for you. We're sitting at 74 in Joplin, 73 in Pittsburgh. And across the area, we're hanging out in the low 70s. It's getting close to the mid 70s out there. But again, not a bad start to the day. Fairly average. Our average low is 70. Average high is about 90 right for this time of year. Let's talk about our scattered storms. Like yesterday, probably start working in about 11 at the earliest. We'll have a few of them out there. Again, you can see this first batch starts to wind down by about 4. And then we could get some additional development later this evening that might carry us a little later than what we were talking about yesterday. We said maybe, wrapping up by 7 or 8. Might last until about 9. But then that's still going to be about it. And it begins to just kind of clear out and leave us partly cloudy skies tonight. So here's the temperatures for us. 79 by 9 a.m. Approaching the mid 80s as we go into the lunch hour. Highs right about 90. So near average or at average, but the heat index values today could still be up to the mid 90s. And we'll have a southwest wind, occasionally gusting to 20 miles an hour. Temperatures really start to climb gradually as we go through the weekend and into next week. We'll talk about how hot it's going to get and if there's any other rain chances out there in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. No criminal charges will be filed in the Pittsburgh officer-involved shooting that left a man dead. Crawford County Attorney Raina Probert says Kansas use of force laws supports the officer's decision to shoot. The shooting happened around 10 p.m. on June 3rd near the public library and police department. Probert says surveillance footage confirms the officer's accounts. According to her report, an officer stopped to check on Jalen Green, who was sitting near the road outside the Pittsburgh Police Department. Green told the officer to take him to jail and then threw items at him and fought him to the ground. A taser failed to stop the struggle. When a second officer arrived, Green grabbed a flashlight and struck the first officer in the head. As Green moved towards him again with the flashlight raised, the officer fired three shots. Green died at Mercy Hospital. Authorities in Miami released more information in connection with a shots fired report. The incident happened Wednesday night at the Chisholm Trial Apartments. Authorities confirmed their presence was in response to a domestic situation and a juvenile was present. They also say they have a suspect in custody. They also confirmed no one was shot. No names have been released at this time. Multiple agencies conducted raids in Delaware County. KOAM's Ty Parks was at one location on Highway 10 where he saw county deputies and agents from U.S. Fish and Wildlife on scene. In a statement, USFWS said the investigation has to do with violations of natural resource laws. If you remember, investigators from the same agency were at 2 lumber mills in Newton County earlier this week. A 2-vehicle crash in Joplin Wednesday evening slowed traffic at East 4th and South Florida Avenue. Investigators say a pickup traveling west through the intersection was struck by a minivan, spinning the truck sideways and flipping it over. Both drivers declined medical treatment at the scene. Our 4 states are among the 34 reporting cases of cyclospora. Missouri is reporting more than 80 cases. In Oklahoma, it's around 60. Kansas breaks down theirs by county. Statewide, it's 55 with up to 5 cases reported in each Crawford and Cherokee counties. Local health experts say contaminated produce is likely to blame, but no single product is confirmed yet. KOAM's Nellie Lopez spoke with a couple of Joplin health officials on what to look out for and precautionary measures to take.
That's an organism that can live in or on the body. So it needs a host, and that's where we come in.
Cyclospora can cause watery diarrhea, abdominal cramping, fatigue, and sometimes vomiting. This parasite is not new to the U.S.
There is a season for Cyclosporia. May through August is when the numbers are the highest in spring and summer. So it's not unusual for us to see a case here or there. Again, it comes from contaminated food or water.
But currently, the United States is experiencing the worst Cyclospora outbreak on record. It's not contagious person to person. It spreads by ingesting contaminated produce. While the main source has not been determined, there are a few speculations.
They're still a little bit baffled with the current outbreak. They haven't been able to yet pinpoint what is causing it. Historically, it's been either packaged salads, cilantro. I think a couple of years there was some basil. It's basically contaminated water or vegetables that get contaminated with water or feces.
And without straight links to one product, it's up to the food chain or local restaurants to properly wash produce.
We're not going to tell any restaurant to stop carrying or stop serving any specific item, but it is likely a produce.
Symptoms vary, but if there's any doubt, consult with your healthcare provider.
You know your body better than anybody else, and certainly if they're worse, then you need to reach out and talk to your healthcare provider.
In Joplin, Missouri, Nellie Lopez, KOAM News.
Both health officials advise to wash all produce, even if they're labeled pre-washed. Scrub all fruits with hard surfaces like watermelon and cucumbers, and always wash your hands before eating. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather coming up on the KOAM Morning News. E-bikes are surging across the state, and cities are struggling to keep up. Topping Nation Watch, Republican state Senate candidates Jill Carter and Ellen Nichols are both seeking to represent Missouri's 32nd Senate District in Jefferson City. With early voting underway, we asked each candidate why they believe they're the best choice to represent the district.
I think I represent the values of Southwest Missouri. I'm pro-life, pro-Second Amendment. I want to decrease regulations, keep taxes low. I have that record of living those values. I've been a mom, a grandmom, a foster mom, a neurosurgeon. I've been consistent over the past 33 years. I've dedicated my life to caring for this community, and that's what I would do in the Missouri Senate.
To hear more from both candidates, go to KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, in primetime address, President Trump took to the airwaves to allege interference in the 2020 election from China to an accusation that Beijing and U.S. intelligence agencies have contradicted. It comes as the president demands that congressional Republicans push through the Save America Act, a package of voting measures. Today, Homeland Security Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen is expected to hold a press conference on cyber vulnerabilities as the White House also published declassified documents on the president's assertions. CBS News' Jared Hill has more from New York.
A warning in prime time.
Our elections were left vulnerable.
President Trump doubled down on unsubstantiated claims the 2020 election results were tampered with, announcing the release of newly declassified documents and pointing a finger at China for accessing American voter data,
resulting in China's illicit acquisition of 220 million U.S. voter files.
Election law experts note most of that information is already public, and while President Trump didn't say how the data was being used, some question its worth.
There's nothing that anyone can actually do with that information.
In a statement, the Chinese embassy said China has never and will never interfere in the presidential elections of the U.S. Meanwhile, the president also alleged an intelligence community cover-up.
Those responsible for sounding the alarm instead kept the information secret and hidden.
Virtually every document he has cited, the Intelligence Committee, in a bipartisan way, has seen and reviewed.
CBS News found that President Trump also made false or exaggerated claims about mail-in ballots and non-citizens and dead people listed on voter rolls. This as the president pushes Congress to pass the Save America Act, a package of strict voter regulation despite opposition from Democrats and some Republicans.
Give it up. The SAVE Act isn't going anywhere.
I believe it would undermine credibility of our elections than anything that we have to deal with on a year-to-year basis.
All with just over 3 months until midterms. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Some congressional Republicans took to social media overnight to back President Trump's push on the Save America Act, including Utah Senator Mike Lee, who posted that it's, quote, more important than ever to pass the bill. The president says his administration plans to notify states about what voter data they consider compromised, as well as non-citizens on their voter rolls. Well, still to come, we have more heat wave expected across the 4 states. Chris has a look at your forecast. As Ragbray riders get ready to make the trip from Onwawa to Dubuque, there are questions about electric bikes. Pepper Purpura explains why they're becoming a bigger part of the ride and the respect riders are being asked to give standard cyclists.
E-bikes.
It's definitely a hot topic.
On Ragbray and city halls across central Iowa.
A motion to table ordinance 1170 for future consideration.
Clive, Waukee, and Norwalk are just a few communities debating regulation.
We start to see more of these electric e-bikes.
They go faster than people really understand.
The person on the device needs to be responsible.
Bike Iowa founder Scott Sumter weighs in regularly on the issue.
We believe it's not the device, it's the behavior that goes along with it, right?
E-bike riders weaving through traffic, speeding past cyclists, and treating trails like racetracks instead of shared spaces are all behaviors Sumter says contribute to an uptick in accidents and injuries. Ragbray director Matt Fippen agrees.
We love e-bikes from the standpoint of it's keeping riders on the roads longer. What we don't like is rider etiquette.
But on Iowa's largest annual bike ride, the etiquette rule will be implied.
The riders do a good job policing the roads for us. So if you are that rider that is not riding your e-bike right, you're going to hear it from the riders.
Most veteran riders are turning to e-bikes to stay on the route.
Sometimes it's a medical reason that they're using it. Sometimes they want a little extra power. Some people are really relying on that battery.
Phone charging business owner Pete Dempsey added e-bike charging to meet the riders' growing demand.
Just trying to help some people who are asking me initially for the e-bikes, but now I think it's about 40% of the business is e-bikes.
And even though there is an assist, Sumter says training ahead of time is key.
He says riders need to know how their bike handles before joining the route, must stay with the flow of traffic, announce passes, and remember, and a motor doesn't replace experience.
E-bikes makes hills easier. They don't make emergency stops easier, though.
Pepper Papura, KCCI News, Iowa's news leader.
Well, technology seems to be changing a lot of things, including transportation. Well, now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Again, we have an opportunity for some scattered showers and storms out there today. They'll be somewhat isolated. Some pop-up storms possible this weekend as well as temperatures begin to climb. And we look at the potential for dangerous heat next week. We're going to break down the details of your forecast, talk about the rain chances and those hot temperatures when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Skywatch weather forecast from the trusted Roper Kia Weather Center.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:20 now on this finally Friday in the 4 states, and we again have some additional isolated to scattered storm chances. Much like yesterday, they're going to start probably between 10 and 11. They'll be very isolated initially, and then we'll start to see a few additional scattered storms out there. But again, like yesterday, we all have the well, honestly, not just like yesterday, the last few days, we all have the chance for showers and storms, but not everybody is going to see them. As we go into the afternoon, our initial batch looks to kind of weaken a bit, break apart a bit, and again, no severe weather expected. That means it's not going to be as organized. But then we get a second round that tries to develop across northeastern Oklahoma, and that's going to be later into the late afternoon, early evening, and it will try and lift northeast as well. But as you can see, as we get 8, 9 o'clock, kind of fizzles out, and that puts an end to that. And we'll have partly cloudy skies overnight. A couple of stray showers possible in the morning, maybe a rumble of thunder or two on our Saturday. And then as we go into the afternoon, we go back to pop-up storm activity. So again, with pop-up storms, Future Track is simply showing us it's that possibility. It's not necessarily a guarantee that we'll see what you're seeing here or that it'll be in these exact locations. Because remember, pop-up storms feed off the heating of the day. There's got to be just the right setup in the right way at the right time in the right place for these to develop. But we'll have isolated pop-up storms as we head into the afternoon hours, and then once we lose the sunshine, we of course will lose those pop-up storm chances. Future Track also hinting at maybe an interesting scenario here, some pop-up showers or thunderstorms early Sunday in the morning hours, and then after that, we go again with afternoon pop-up showers and storms, but they'll be very isolated. So that's why our rain chances are really going to drop off. The pop-up storm chances will be there over the next few days, but actual meaningful organized shower and thunderstorm activity is not likely as we head really beyond Saturday into Sunday and next week. We'll start with clear skies out there, mid-70s by 8, and we'll go into the mid-80s by 11. And again, most of us should have mostly clear skies, but between 10 and 11, we could start seeing at least a couple of those isolated showers and storms. Our highs today near average as we go about 90, so some upper 80s, some low 90s, but near where we're supposed to be. Partly cloudy, breezy, southwest winds gusting upwards of 20 miles an hour, and of course those isolated to scattered storms. Those will wind down and we'll go pretty warm, muggy overnight tonight. Average low is 70, so we're not excessively above it, but we're definitely warmer than where we should be. Partly cloudy, and our winds out of the south at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Southwest winds gusting to 20 again tomorrow. Temperatures climb, and with pop-up storm chances and any kind of shower chances, our humidity levels, dew points climb as well. So we're in the low to mid 90s, but we're looking at heat index values at mid 90s, close to 100. And we still look at some point in the next several days to get highs up to, if not at, 100 degrees. Maybe even in some cases a little above that. So as we go Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and maybe even into Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to be looking at that chance for heat index values to clearly exceed 100. The question is, how much beyond 100 will they get? We're looking at maybe up to 105, but in some cases, especially if we get this hot, we could see them getting a little closer to 110. So we might say 108. So if you don't have to be outdoors next week, don't. Just try and stay cool, stay hydrated. For those who have to work outside, take frequent breaks, stay hydrated, kind of know the drill at this point if you've been here in the area long enough. Outside of that, we'll hang on to the mid-90s next week with a few shower and thunderstorm chances next Friday. That is a check of your forecast. We're going to send it over to Samantha now with Health Watch.
Thanks, Chris. Well, the use of GLP-1 weight loss drugs is exploding, and so is the amount of money Americans are paying for them. A Northwestern University study found that the average payments for the medications by people without diabetes jumped 157% between 2017 and 2022. The study's authors say employers and insurers are paying more for the medications, and those costs get passed on to consumers. And college students who spend more time online are more likely to have suicidal thoughts. Researchers at Boston University found that college students experience some of the same negative effects of social media use as adolescents, and men experience the harm more than women. Students who experienced more online harassment also reported higher rates of suicidal thoughts. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back.
Skywatch weather forecast from the trusted Roper Kia Weather Center.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 5:20 now on this finally Friday in the 4 states, and we again have some additional isolated to scattered storm chances. Much like yesterday, they're going to start probably between 10 and 11. They'll be very isolated initially, and they will start to see a few additional scattered storms out there. But again, like yesterday, we all have the honestly, not just like yesterday, the last few days, we all have the chance for showers and storms, but not everybody is going to see them. As we go into the afternoon, our initial batch looks to kind of weaken a bit, break apart a bit, and again, no severe weather expected. That means it's not going to be as organized. But then we get a second round that tries to develop across northeastern Oklahoma, and that's going to be later into the late afternoon, early evening, and it will try and lift northeast as well. But as you can see, as we get 8, 9 o'clock, kind of fizzles out, and that puts an end to that. And we'll have partly cloudy skies overnight. A couple of stray showers possible in the morning, maybe a rumble of thunder or two on our Saturday. And then as we go into the afternoon, we go back to pop-up storm activity. So again, with pop-up storms, Future Track is simply showing us it's that possibility. It's not necessarily a guarantee that we'll see what you're seeing here or that it'll be in these exact locations. Because remember, pop-up storms feed off the heating of the day. There's got to be just the right setup in the right way at the right time in the right place for these to develop. But we'll have isolated pop-up storms as we head into the afternoon hours, and then once we lose the sunshine, we of course will lose those pop-up storm chances. Future Track also hinting at maybe an interesting scenario here, some pop-up showers or thunderstorms early Sunday in the morning hours, and then after that, we go again with afternoon pop-up showers and storms, but they'll be very isolated. So that's why our rain chances are really going to drop off. The pop-up storm chances will be there over the next few days, but actual meaningful organized shower and thunderstorm activity is not likely as we head really beyond Saturday into Sunday and next week. We'll start with clear skies out there, mid-70s by 8, and we'll go into the mid-80s by 11. And again, most of us should have mostly clear skies, but between 10 and 11, we could start seeing at least a couple of those isolated showers and storms. Our highs today near average as we go about 90, so some upper 80s, some low 90s, but near where we're supposed to be. Partly cloudy, breezy, southwest winds gusting upwards of 20 miles an hour, and of course those isolated to scattered storms. Those will wind down and we'll go pretty warm, muggy overnight tonight. An average low is 70, so we're not excessively above it, but we're definitely warmer than where we should be. Partly cloudy, and our winds out of the south at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Southwest winds gusting to 20 again tomorrow. Temperatures climb, and with pop-up storm chances and any kind of shower chances, our humidity levels, dew points climb as well. So we're in the low to mid 90s, but we're looking at heat index values at mid 90s, close to 100. And we still look at some point in the next several days to get highs up to, if not at, 100 degrees. Maybe even in some cases a little above that. So as we go Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and maybe even into Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to be looking at that chance for heat index values to clearly exceed 100. The question is, how much beyond 100 will they get? We're looking at maybe up to 105, but in some cases, especially if we get this hot, we could see them getting a little closer to 110. So we might say 108. So if you don't have to be outdoors next week, don't. Just try and stay cool, stay hydrated. For those who have to work outside, take frequent breaks, stay hydrated, kind of know the drill at this point if you've been here in the area long enough. Outside of that, we'll hang on to the mid-90s next week with a few shower and thunderstorm chances next Friday. That is a check of your forecast. We're going to send it over to Samantha now with Health Watch.
Thanks, Chris. Well, the use of GLP-1 weight loss drugs is exploding, and so is the amount of money Americans are paying for them. A Northwestern University study found that the average payments for the medications by people without diabetes jumped 157% between 2017 and 2022. The study's authors say employers and insurers are paying more for the medications, and those costs get passed on to consumers. And college students who spend more time online are more likely to have suicidal thoughts. Researchers at Boston University found that college students experience some of the same negative effects of social media use as adolescents, and men experience the harm more than women. Students who experienced more online harassment also reported higher rates of suicidal thoughts. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back.
From large to small projects, we have the parts you need. Feed bunks, PVC, eco-friendly pipe solutions, well houses, septic tanks, and septic pumping, all available for delivery. Give us a call today to talk about your next project.
Spend your Thursdays 4 to 8 p.m. at Outpost Casino. Play for your chance to win your share of over $11,000 total cash plus a summer camping bundle. Spend your summers camping in style. Play your favorite gaming machine and enjoy your favorite ice-cold beverage in a nice, cool, climate-controlled atmosphere. Over $800,000 in total cash and Go Rewards prizes. Everybody's favorite little hotspot with big casino winnings. Outpost Casino, Highway 1010C on the Oklahoma-Missouri border. TheOutpostCasino.com.
Imagine being diagnosed with cancer. How do you wake up and go through your day without thinking about it every moment? The chemo, the scans, the waiting. But yet you have to, and you have to grab onto hope and choose to cherish life. On the journey, you learn the true value of living and what matters most. The mission of the Shelley Sachs Foundation is to assist families fighting the good fight and going through that incredibly tough journey. Thank you for your support.
July 25th will be the day that people from all over the world will converge on Pittsburgh, Kansas for one of the country's largest fireworks shows. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime historic event that thousands will be attending. Get ready to be a part of celebrating America's 250th anniversary with live music and fun for the whole family, leading up to fireworks you've never seen before. Don't wait. Get your tickets now and be a part of history. For tickets and more information, go to camptownevents.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
Where are we headed? Well, I'm headed to Michael's Air Force Academy graduation since I'm a real ID. We'll give Michael our best. I'll just be here.
Be your Real ID self today. To learn how, visit tsa.gov/realid or your local DMV.
The Downtown Pittsburgh Camera is sponsored by Pittsburgh State University and the City of Pittsburgh.
Right now at 5:30, community service gets recognized at one of the biggest nights of the year for the Joplin Rotary Club.
And we've got an opportunity for some scattered showers and storms yet again today. Temperatures heating up to about normal levels. So look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, a nonprofit in Grove, Oklahoma extends a helping hand for area families. The story of how abundant life is doing good.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:28. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's finally Friday here in the 4 states, July the 17th. And of course, it's been warm, muggy. We've had those scattered storms out there. You know, not everybody's seen rain, but everybody's had that chance. And I'm sure if you've been paying attention to the radar, paying attention to the weather in the afternoon hours, you've seen what I mean. Like, we've had them in all of our region, just not for everybody in the region. And that's the case again today.
Okay. Well, you never know if you need the umbrella or not. Just have it just in case.
That's the problem with those summertime storms, they typically don't get too intense, and they're very scattered, but because of that very scattered nature, it's difficult on a forecasting standpoint. That's why I say all of us have that chance for rain today, but not all of you will see it today. So that's where it gets a little more complicated, and you just got to pay attention to the sky, stay weather aware, and of course remember, when thunder roars, head indoors. Say that a lot, but it's important information. Let's start with a live look from downtown Pittsburgh, because that's also important, and it looks pretty good this morning. We've got clear skies out there, maybe a cloud or two, but otherwise not a bad start to the day. Westco camera, 7th and Rangeline, looking good, as is the MoDOT camera, 32nd and Rangeline in Joplin as well. A little out of focus. Once the sunlight comes out, it'll readjust itself, but otherwise a nice quiet start to the day. Sitting at 74 in Joplin, 73 in Pittsburgh, and temperatures across the region, they look like this. We're in the low to mid 70s. We don't have any one single cool or warm spot right now, but again, not a bad start to the day. 70 is where our average low is supposed to be, so we got a few folks right on the nose. Again, by about 10 to 11, initially maybe 1 or 2 of these pop-up showers or storms will get started. By noon, you can see we've got 1 potentially into Chautauqua County. And as we go into the afternoon, they become scattered in nature. They begin dying out, and we could get a second wave of these isolated to scattered storms coming up the turnpike heading into Missouri by later this evening. But again, by the time we get to about 9, they're done. That's it. It's over. And as you saw, not everybody got rain, but they were in all 4 of our states, just not everywhere. All right, clear skies to start near 80. By 9, we'll go 86 or so mid-80s by the lunch hour. Our highs today, most of us pretty seasonal, about 90, so some upper 80s, low 90s. That's going to be a bit on the windy side. Southwest winds gusting to 20 miles an hour with partly cloudy skies. Outside, of course, any shower and storm chances. We do have some pop-up storm chances tomorrow, as well as into, today is Friday, so as well as into Saturday, and again, maybe even into Sunday. Details on that and the extreme heat on the way in just a few more minutes.
Chris, thanks. The Joplin Rotary Club has named its 8th recipient of the prestigious Rotarian of the Year Award, honoring the outstanding service to the club and the community. This year's honoree is Robert Reeves, and he has been a member of the Joplin Rotary Club for 18 years. The award recognizes individuals who exemplify Rotary's mission of service above self through their commitment to making a difference in the community.
Rotary International is a absolutely tremendous organization. It's the largest service organization in the world, and if you have a passion for helping people, a passion for service, you ought to get to know Rotary and join one of the local clubs.
4 finalists were considered for this year's honor, with the winner receiving a custom-designed statue. Well, summer temps are bringing people to the water, and illegal bridge jumping into area waterways can quickly turn into a major rescue. Galium's Mitch Adams brings us more about the potential consequences of jumping into water from a cliff or bridge.
You may have seen people jumping from cliffs or bridges into rivers or lakes for a quick thrill, but it may come with more problems than benefits. Miami police say waterways like the Neosho River are unpredictable enough to lead to an accident.
The Neosho has a very fast current through it, especially with all the rain that we've had here recently, so that's one of the dangers. You could jump in thinking that it's calm and get swept away. The surface looks very calm, but underneath it's moving pretty quickly. That in turn would result in a water rescue type situation.
Other than the swift current, fast changes in the water's condition can bring debris that injures someone who jumps.
There's a lot of debris both on the bottom of the river as well as floating. If you look just north of the bridge that we're talking about in particular, you can see a bunch of logs and stuff built up there that get cleaned out every so often. So you don't know what's floating in the water or what might be just under the surface.
Alongside the chance for physical harm, jumping from bridges in Oklahoma is illegal and will be treated as a crime committed.
We know that people are going to do it, but we want them to understand that it is illegal, and if you get caught, you could suffer the ramifications of it, which in this case, in the state of Oklahoma, it's a misdemeanor.
Chief Sigmund says that a few seconds of fun could change into paying fines or experiencing a life-changing incident.
Especially if you have to put a boat in the water, you're talking about tens of thousands of dollars being spent for somebody that's just trying to have a little bit of fun. And we get it. We don't want to be the party poopers, but at the same time, we have a responsibility for public safety.
Reporting in northeastern Oklahoma, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
Authorities say around Grand Lake, GRDA police may also be called in, so a single jump can quickly turn into a coordinated response on the water and on shore. Well, in Carthage, Habitat for Humanity of Joplin is celebrating a major milestone with the construction of its 200th home, which is being built for a single mother of 2. Volunteers from U.S. Bank joined the Habitat team to install siding on the home. The bank has donated $25,000 to the project and is also helping with financial literacy education for future homeowners.
We know there's quite a few who need some assistance, and here today we're helping change lives. We're really able to go ahead and make such an impact for Jenny and her family and the rest of the community here in Carthage and our surrounding areas. So for me personally, I'm so happy.
The project has been in the works for about a year, with construction moving forward rapidly over the past several months. For families experiencing a crisis, there's a place that they can go to for help. For this week's Doing Good report, KOAM's Ty Parks visits Abundant Hope in Grove, Oklahoma.
Sometimes life gets hard and people can use a little help. That's where Abundant Hope comes in.
With families in crisis, we will basically evaluate the situation and see where we need to start. Everyone starts with a goal sheet, and with that goal sheet, we help them basically achieve what they're heading towards, whether that's a job, buying groceries on their own, providing the necessities for their children. That is what our goal is.
The goal is to take families from sometimes their lowest points and bring them up, and they do that with a goal: education.
Our facility is every week we do parenting classes, and we send it via phone, or they can come in and they have homework. And so we educate them along the way. We also, when it comes to helping them find jobs or a house or something like that, we'll go that extra step and walk beside them.
Abundant Hope also helps foster children by providing the families with emergency items that they need, including beds.
They're out of the valley they were in, and they're on top of the mountain that they want to be on. A lot of our families are generational cursed. Basically, they grew up that way, or something happened along the line, and so that's all they've ever known. And so our goal is honestly for those families that are going through crisis to break that generational curse.
In Grove, Oklahoma, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
Abundant Hope will be moving to their new location behind the Pizza Hut in Grove, Oklahoma. Well, that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Options for affordable home security. In Consumer Watch, Missouri Electric customers will see higher bills starting August 3rd. The State Public Service Commission approves a rate increase for Liberty Electric, but at $97 million. It is $56 million less than the company requested. Before the increase could take effect, Liberty had to prove it met strict customer billing and service standards for 3 straight months. Commission staff reviewed nearly 500,000 bills and found Liberty in compliance more than 99% of the time. The increase now phases in over 3 years, with 1/3 added each year. The company must also forgive $8.5 million in customer debt and submit to an independent billing audit to review billing accuracy and customer service. The U.S. Mint just announced another way to celebrate America's 250th birthday, with the president's face gracing a new $1 commemorative coin. Federal law generally prohibits living leaders from appearing on currency, but the Mint's researchers determined this design to be legal. The coin is composed of non-precious metals covered with a gold-like finish. It rolls out for purchase this fall. United Airlines now expects to spend an additional $6 billion on jet fuel this year, revising its estimate to align with Tuesday's rising crude oil prices. The company's forecast came while revealing more than $17 billion in revenue for the second quarter, though during that time, the airline said it had also spent more than $2 billion on jet fuel, an 84% jump over last year. Global oil price spikes since the U.S. launched its war with Iran in late February have resulted in higher airfares across the industry. Delta reported spending more than $4 billion on jet fuel in the second quarter. This is the time of year where a lot of us head out of town to take a summer vacation. But how secure is your home while you're gone? Before you spend a lot of money on a security system, Josh Shidorowitz explains the simple habits experts say might protect your home better than all of those gadgets.
Doorbell cameras and DIY devices are more popular than ever. And according to Consumers Checkbook, they're also far cheaper than many traditional alarm systems.
The fact is, most burglars, they get into homes simply by walking in through an unlocked door or raising an unlocked window.
Executive editor Kevin Brassler says that most burglars aren't using sophisticated Ocean's 11 tactics. In most cases, they're looking for an easy target, an unlocked door, an open window. That's why Brassler says homeowners shouldn't assume they need an expensive security system to stay safe.
There's some kind of anecdotal evidence that burglars might tend to avoid homes where it's clear there's a burglar alarm and a siren may go off. But in the end, the way they break into homes is pretty similar.
Consumers found professionally installed systems can run you anywhere from several hundred to several thousands of dollars. And that's before you factor in the cost for monitoring, which can be $1,500 or more a year. Whereas consumers found basic DIY systems can be assembled for as little as a few $100. Even big names like ADT are now offering do-it-yourself kits. ADT Blue doesn't require a contract or even the professional monitoring costs.
I think often that may be the better way to go in terms of saving a lot of money.
But he says the best home security habit is also the cheapest. Lock your doors, lock your windows, and make sure it looks like someone's home even when you're away. In Philadelphia, Josh Sidorowitz, CBS News.
That's it for Consumer Watch. And now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, again, we've got the potential for some showers and storms as we head into the afternoon hours out there. And we'll be a bit on the hot side as well. Temperatures, though, really start to heat up through the weekend and next week, but dangerous heat returning to the forecast. We'll break down the details for you, talk about the rain, the heat, and have your Ag Day Minute right after this.
I'm Ty Morgan with today's Ag Day Minute. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins met with dozens of farmers on Wednesday to get their take on modernizing the USDA. Data collection was top of mind for that group in D.C. Farmers asked for practical relief and clear support. Rollins told producers the USDA is working to tighten up programs so help arrives faster and highlighted ongoing farmer first changes aimed at improving the farm safety net. ABC News reports Brazil is planning to retaliate after the Office of the U.S. Trade Representative decided to levy a 25% tariff against the South American country. Brazil is threatening to impose reciprocal tariffs and talk to the World Trade Organization. As for the U.S., Brazilian beef is exempt from the tariffs it chose to enact Wednesday night. This means beef prices could go down. A relief for American consumers, but bad news for cattle producers. Most other goods would face a 25% tariff now, and that includes ethanol. This ruling was made after an investigation into Brazil's Section 301 violations. As of Thursday, the tariffs are planned to start on July 22nd. U.S. Commerce says Canadian mushrooms were being sold in the U.S. at unfair prices, so it's setting preliminary subsidy rates of 2.84% and an estimated dumping margin of 8.26% for all. American growers are in favor of the move, but Canadian growers worry it could mean higher grocery prices and slower growth for the industry. For more Ag News, watch Ag Day weekdays on this station or get updates anytime on agweb.com.
Here's your Skywatch weather forecast from the trusted Roper Kia Weather Center.
It is now 5:46 on this finally Friday in the 4 states. Happy Friday to you all. Hopefully your week's been good. Hopefully it's been all right. Hopefully you've stayed cool as best you can and you've enjoyed the weather. It's been, with these scattered storms though, it's made it a little harder to enjoy the afternoon for some. And we have those same scattered storm chances once again today. Now, again, we could get one or two 10, 11 a.m. But as you see by noon, we only have one showing up on Future Track. But they will pick back up, increasing in coverage just a smidge. And the thing is, it's just like the last few days. As you can see, if you were to fill this in as a line, well, we'd all get something. But what we have is this boundary of where these storms are going to be. So all of us have the chance. But given the nature of how this boundary is working, how this wave is working with these storms, not everybody, again, necessarily will see rain. It's going to take very specific circumstances in just the right places to get a few showers and storms to go. So a number of us will be dry, but we all at least have that chance out there. We see that first batch kind of wind down, and we get a second batch that comes back up out of northeastern Oklahoma into our region. So we've got, again, an opportunity for showers and storms from Chautauqua County back through parts of Montgomery, getting into Craig, Ottawa, and Delaware counties. This is by 7. By 8, it's really winding down. Well, we've got, 4, maybe 5 shower storms out there. And by about 9, 10 o'clock, that's it. They're done. It's over. Now, tomorrow morning could get an isolated shower or storm in the morning. Not expecting too much, but we could have a few of those out there. And then the better chances, even though they're not great, will come into the afternoon. And really, between the morning and afternoon, it's really one of the main reasons we have a 20% chance on showers and storms for tomorrow, just because in terms of pop-up storm coverage, the coverage looks to be a little better than what we would usually see, because, again, pop-up storms are extraordinarily isolated. And while these are very isolated, there's still a few more of them than what we would typically get with pop-up storm activity, but they still will wind down once we lose the heating of the day. Sunday, the process could potentially repeat with a few isolated showers, maybe a rumble of thunder in the early morning hours, and then those kind of die out, and eventually we go into the afternoon with isolated pop-up storm chances. And you can see while there's a handful of them, there's not nearly as many pop-up showers and storms Sunday afternoon as we are expecting for Saturday. I can speak, sometimes not very clearly, but I can, I promise. All right, clear skies to begin our day. Mid-70s by 8 o'clock. Temperatures gradually climbing to about the mid-80s by 11. Again, an isolated shower storm may work in as early as 10 or 11, but the better chances for isolated to scattered showers and storms will come into the afternoon hours. Highs about 90, so upper 80s, low 90s, a bit on the windy side. Southwest winds 5 to 15, gusting to 20. We'll otherwise have partly cloudy skies, by the way. Same through the evening and overnight, and muggy conditions. We're not terribly high above average, but still we are warmer than normal. It's going to be a bit on the muggy side tonight, back in the low to mid 70s. At south breeze at 5 to 10. Southwest winds tomorrow gusting again to 20. Temperatures begin to climb. We start to see heat index values mid upper 90s out there by Saturday. Sunday, again, aside from an isolated pop-up shower or storm, we are looking at clear skies, and that continues through Tuesday, and that's where our next potential issue comes in as temperatures climb. Upper 90s, maybe even some lower triple digits, and that could push our heat index values anywhere from maybe 105 to potentially up to 110. So if you don't have to be out next week, don't. If you do, just make sure you're staying hydrated and taking breaks out there. That's Check Your Forecast. We're going to send it over to Samantha now with sports.
Thanks, Chris. Today in sports, well, getting noticed can change everything. And for one 13-year-old athlete from Joplin, it led to a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity representing both the 4 states and the United States on the world stage.
Since the age of 5, Aiden Jones's life has revolved around basketball. He dreams of playing at the college level, and with hopes of gaining exposure, Aiden started posting his highlights on the internet.
If you know much about recruiting and stuff, you need to start posting early and just getting people's attention, because once you start getting there and you start getting into high school, that's when you can actually start recruiting and stuff.
After nearly 9 months of sharing his skills online, Aiden's highlights caught the eyes of PhD Hoops, an organization that recruits players to represent the United States at international tournaments.
At first I thought it was a scam, so I was pretty shocked, but I mean, I was super excited.
After interviewing with PhD, Aiden was selected to represent the United States as a member of the 14 and under team competing at the United World Games in Austria.
It was definitely a once-in-a-lifetime experience for sure. Just getting the experience to go play with people at a certain level of talent is just so fun to see, and just the culture experience was awesome. Being able to feel honored by getting chosen and to represent the USA at the highest level was just, I respect that a lot, so it means a lot to me.
Before the tournament, Aiden and his teammates only had 2 practices together.
We don't know each other, we don't know how each other play. We just had to figure out how we're able to play together and how we're able to play to the best of our abilities.
Once tournament play started, Aiden's squad dominated, winning their pool and cruising to the championship game.
We obviously had the talent, but it was just the team chemistry that I think pulled it all together. I had amazing teammates, amazing coaches. Combining talent and team chemistry, it just all worked great together.
And in the title game, Aiden and his squad delivered a gold medal performance, defeating Canada for the championship.
It just didn't feel real. It was crazy. I had to get my teammates to come and shake me. It was super fun. Just the experience, all realizing the hard work and the competitiveness, it just paid off right there by getting that gold medal.
Reflecting on his experience, Jones says his favorite moment came off the court. At the opening ceremonies, he was selected to carry the American flag.
The biggest honor I've ever gotten in my life. It felt amazing to be able to represent my country and where I'm from. So that was just a huge deal to me. It's kind of like wearing the USA on the jersey. Everything is going on with the World Cup and America's 250th birthday. Just all that being in the same sequence, that was a super fun thing to realize, that it's all happening at the same time and I'm able to carry the American flag while all this is happening.
Certainly very impressive. Well, that's it for sports. We'll be right back. An iconic piece of Star Wars history has sold for a record price. Mark Hamill's original screen-used lightsaber from The Empire Strikes Back fetched $3.75 million at the auction. The prop was used during Luke Skywalker's climactic duel with Darth Vader. The scene ends with Vader cutting off Luke's hand and revealing he is his father.
This is slightly more interesting now than the lightsaber.
The lightsaber was expected to sell for as much as $2 million, but far exceeded that estimate. Heritage Auction says the sale sets a new world record for a screen-used Star Wars prop. I do not have $3.7 million.
Do you think that you could get more if you had the severed hand to go with it? The prop for the severed hand?
Maybe.
I mean, do you think it would be worth more? I don't know.
It's possible.
It's possible, I suppose. I know Star Wars. I know of it. I'm not a fan of it, but I know of it. I try to be well-rounded. But I do know, gosh, when was this? Anyway, it was a long time ago, but Paramount auctioned off a bunch of the Star Trek props and models and stuff. And like I said, one guy, he bought the 6-foot-long filming model of the Enterprise from the original series movies. So, the motion picture, all those movies. I'm like, what do you do with that? Where do you put it? But it's cool to have, but what in heaven's name would you do with the thing?
I feel like you could get one of those, sheds that they sell, and you just put it in there, and you make it like a little man cave. I feel like that's something you would enjoy.
You could do that.
I feel like you would go and recreate Star Wars scenes if you had it.
Excuse me, Star Trek scenes.
I'm so sorry.
You are no longer allowed to speak for the next 27 seconds. All right. Hey, it's going to be hot today, about 90, so average out there. Some pop-up storms, scattered storms possible this afternoon, and breezy. Southwest winds gusting to 20. A quick look at tonight. We're going to be back to the partly cloudy skies, warm, muggy, low mid-70s out there. Some isolated storms possible again tomorrow afternoon, and then pop-up storm chances. Otherwise, clear skies. Temperatures heating up. getting close to 100 next week. That's Check Your Forecast. Another hour of the KOAM Morning News up next.